Hello guys, today we're going to be doing a video on F1 2021 using the RTX 3060 Ti. We're running a Ryzen 3700X with 32GB of RAM running at 3200 MHz. Alright, let's jump into the settings. We're going to be starting it off with 1080p on the high preset. Let's go ahead and slowly scroll up so we can see all the settings. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and test out the game. This game is still out. I'm going to go ahead and test this game out during the day with dry weather on the high and ultra preset, and testing out the wet weather instead, so we can see the worst case scenario in that sense. But I don't think we should be running into any issues running this game at 4K with the way things are going right now. I'll be running the game at 200 frames and our GPU isn't even fully maxed out yet. Bad corner, bad corner. GPU is sitting around 80 to 90%, so it never actually reaches its full potential, like I was saying before. Ooh. I am using a controller right now, can't really get access to my wheel and pedals, since that is plugged into the main PC. So I'll be sticking with a controller for this one. Hopefully I don't crash. The game overall feels very smooth, very consistent frames. No lagging or stuttering. Obviously, there are some settings within the preset that are CPU bound. I will cause us a CPU bottleneck. Alright, let's go ahead and try the ultra high preset, which is the max setting. Oh, this game actually has ray tracing as well. Even on high settings, we've still got some ray tracing. And obviously, you can push it up even higher, but the game wants us to stay on ultra high, so we'll just listen to it. These are the settings for ultra high preset. Alright, here we go. 1080p, ultra high. Whoa. That ultra high preset is no joke. We tanked about 100 FPS or even more, since our GPU is actually fully maxed out. $120. Hey, it's still a great experience though, over 100 frames. I don't really care about the frame rate in racing games, unless you're playing in VR or something like that, where you need to have above 90 FPS to have a smooth experience. But on a flat screen, 60 FPS is more than enough for this type of game.
Available on the MFD.
120 FPS. Now, one more thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and max the game out fully, because let's go to graphics settings, and the ultra high preset, which is the max preset in the game, doesn't actually max out the ray tracing, so I'm gonna go ahead and max out ray tracing as well. So this should be the highest setting that we can have. Yep. I mean, obviously we can't have screen space and ray tracing, so that needs to be off. And I set it to rain so we can have some reflection as well. And we are still easily running at 90 FPS. So we lost a lot of our frame rate from just playing at... Oh, bad turn, bad turn. I'm just going from the high preset to everything maxed out. And I gotta say, I don't really see the ray tracing. This is the worst case scenario. We have some heavy rain. Ray tracing is maxed out. Every other setting in the game is maxed out. And we're still not running into an issue. Absolutely crushing it at 1080p. Over 100 frames. Bad corner again. GPU's crushing it still, 175 FPS. And I will say, going from 1080p high to ultra, you don't really see too much of a visual upgrade. I don't really notice anything too major, but we did definitely tank our frame rate by quite a bit. We lost around 100 FPS, so I think the best way to play this game with the 3060 Ti is playing it on the high preset. It gives you a good balance of quality and performance. At 1440p, we're still hanging around the 190s, 180s. Ooh. That corner, I will never learn it, I guess. Gone around it 3-4 times now and I've still failed to corner it properly. Ramming is legal now. Honestly, not too difficult playing with a controller on this game. I thought it was going to be a lot tougher playing with the controller, but game handles it pretty well. Frame rate and frame time again is very consistent. This game runs really well, and I will say the bump from 1080p to 1440p has done way more than going from high to ultra high or maxed out settings. Just the visual quality and the sharpness of the image is way better. So, oh, did I get it right finally? I did. Nice. That was decent at least. Again, going from ultra high to going from high to ultra high, we definitely lost 60 plus FPS for not much of a visual upgrade. I can't really tell on this map, on this track I mean, or with the reflections that we're getting. I can't really see much of a difference, which is a shame. But either way, still over 100 frames, still running great. The frame rate graph is a little bit bumpy, but can't really feel it. Game feels great. This car is absolutely insane to drive.
Great work.
Okay, 60 FPS. I thought we were sitting in the 50s before, but we are holding 60 FPS. Whoa, watch it, bud. Looking at the reflections on the ground, don't really see ray tracing because we're going so quick. The ground looks very matte. Barely see any reflections coming off the road. And the reflections on the car, they also look very low quality for whatever reason. There's absolutely no reason to have ray tracing on this game, I believe. I don't really... Oh, that was not good. Should've lost my wheel there, probably. Alright, 4K, running like a dream, still very close to 100 frames. So pretty much 4K high is our 1440p max settings. That's what it comes down to. And I took a look at the settings in the video options, since the game does have two separate video options, one for graphics and one for your screen resolution and all that. And I saw DLSS set to quality, so I got worried and I thought that we were running DLSS this entire time. But no, it's actually disabled, so you have to go and choose anti-aliasing to DLSS. But for a 3060 Ti, we for sure do not need DLSS. Maybe unless you are racing at 4K max settings in the rain, then in that case we will need DLSS. There we have it. Once you push it to ultra high, we lose 40 FPS every time. And I gotta say, I don't see any visual upgrade at all to the actual game. But it absolutely tanks our FPS for no reason at all. Now the game's overall smoothness and responsiveness has definitely fallen quite a bit. You really want to have 60 FPS in these racing games just so you have the fastest reaction time and the fastest response time with you in the car. Alright, since we've actually fallen into the 50s, I'm going to go ahead and try out DLSS for the first time in this video. So let's go video options and change anti-aliasing to NVIDIA DLSS. and now we can actually change it. We're gonna stick with quality since we only need 10 FPS to get us over the 60 FPS mark. So DLSS set the quality 4K. Wow. Huh. Tires look kind of weird. I don't know if this is how they looked before, but the tires look a bit weird to me. The game doesn't look as crisp as it did before, which is interesting because 4K DLSS usually means the game looks just as good as native. But in this game, I don't know why, it just doesn't look as good. So I think what you gotta do is you gotta just play the game at 4K high. You don't really see a visual upgrade anyway, you're just losing frames. And you can get over 90 FPS to 100 FPS by just playing in high preset instead of playing on ultra high. It's all looking good. Oh, ray tracing max settings tanks that frame rate. Went from 50 to 20. That's insane. Okay, 30 FPS. 30 FPS is still respectable. You can obviously play games at 30 FPS, especially when you're using a controller. When using a wheel and pedals, I would not want to play at 30 FPS. I would want to play at as high as possible. Wow, 49. So we gained 20 FPS at best. It's kind of a shame. I was expecting us to hit 60 with DLSS. Yeah, we are getting pretty close to 60. We're sitting at 59 FPS. It's not all bad. But yeah, only I guess the 30 FPS increase is still pretty good. Makes the game way more playable. Okay, mid 60s to high 60s. We have not seen it go above 70 though. I mean, at balance we should be sitting. What resolution is balance playing at? I forgot. But I was expecting us to hit 70, 80 FPS on balance at least. We only gained about 5 FPS from quality to balanced. Not really too much of an improvement, to be honest. I guess we do hold 60 way easier and we haven't fallen to the 50s yet. But still. Okay, I think we can push it a bit further. Let's go ahead and play at performance. Okay, 77 FPS, 80 FPS. And in the rain, DLSS doesn't look too bad. In dry weather, it was very weird looking for me when I turned on DLSS, even though we were playing at quality. But in this rainy weather, can't really complain too much about DLSS, even at performance mode. So, but it's like, would I rather play this game on the high preset and get over 90 FPS, or play everything fully maxed out and have to use DLSS when playing at 4K? It's just like, it's just not worth it. Alright. I think that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and a subscription. We highly appreciate it. See you next time.